Hey, everybody. It is Monday. That means it's time for Mondays in the meditation room with Dr. K for Midlife Musings. We are here again for another Monday. Do you believe it? I cannot believe that it's Monday already again, but I'm grateful that we came through a whole nother week, right? Came through a whole nother weekend, and here we are again in the meditation room with Dr. K. Hey, I hope you all are ready for another opportunity for us to chill, enjoy each other's company, to be grateful for who we are and what it is, the fact that we can breathe. Just take a moment. When we come into the meditation room, this is not a place for stress and worry, none of that. It's a place where we can take a deep breath and just rest in the company of our sisters. Hey, Crystal. Hey, Tammy. Hey, Sandra. Welcome back to Mondays in the meditation room. Girl, you did that thing. She mastered it, y'all. We have been celebrating her and encouraging her and praying for her and praying with her, and she did that thing. She every now and then was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm ready to throw in the towel. But look what has happened because you stayed the course. Congratulations. She mastered it, y'all. She has graduated with her master's. Come on, put in the chat and tell us what you got, what your master's is in, what you want to do with this. She's like, praise the Lord. Yes. Hey, Myra. So glad, so excited. So welcome. If this is your first time, welcome to Mondays in the meditation room with Dr. K. I mean, like literally, this is my meditation room. I'm so excited to have you join us on tonight. This is that safe and sacred place for Black women in midlife to be empowered as we are on this journey to our midlife wholeness. We are redefining midlife. It is not a crisis. It's recreation. It's redefining, and it is rediscovering who we are. And on tonight, I'm so excited. Hey, Sharon, I'm so excited. Hey, Subi, I'm so excited that I get to have my daughter with me on tonight. And, you know, every now and then I love to bring guests in and on so that we can just hear some other voices, bring in some other voices that are in this journey and on this journey, right? And not just that, but wanting to bring different perspectives to where we are, because we have been, digging in deep doing this journey of midlife wholeness. And so tonight we're going to talk about the midlife pivot. Hey, my good girlfriend, Pastor Vita McCoy. Hey, Vita McCoy. We talking tonight about the midlife pivot, and we're celebrating our isness, our everythingness. We're not looking for perfection, y'all, right? When we talk about being whole, we're not talking about trying to act like we haven't been through anything, right? Because we've all been through something. We've had situations, circumstances, we've had experiences that brought us a lot of pain, but we've also had some joy. Don't let those painful experiences drown out your joy. We've had some accomplishments, we've had mountaintops. Come on, y'all. We've done some good things, and don't let life make you forget who you are and what you've already done and how strong you really are. So don't let that. When we talk about our journey to midlife wholeness, we mean our journey to self-acceptance, to restoring our confidence, to restoring our joy, right? Embracing who we are in this moment and looking forward to something even greater. Not that we have not had those disappointments, but those disappointments don't become our identity, right? And so wholeness just means absolutely embracing all of who we are and making something beautiful out of it. Hey, cousin, how y'all doing tonight? You know, I should have put my glasses on because I can't see y'all. Hey, Carolyn. So tonight, let me introduce my daughter in ministry, Reverend Kendra Smith. So proud of her and the work that she's doing in the kingdom, and so excited about what she is getting ready to do. I just absolutely am looking forward to hearing from her and hearing what she has done. She's in the green room. Ah! Look, I'm using that language already because you never know, right? Because this could turn into a studio situation where this is Enlightened Woman TV, and I will have guests in the green room waiting to come out and speak to y'all. Come on, don't mess with my dream, right? I'm thinking big. I'm expanding my dreams and my possibilities. That's all. That's the other thing about Journey to Midlife Wholeness, that you are willing to go beyond where you are and start expanding and dreaming big and believing big for your life. Woo! I absolutely love it. All right, so let me bring her on, and y'all give her an amazing Enlightened Woman welcome to Reverend Kendra Smith. I'm so glad she was willing to just jump on and change her schedule. Whatever she had planned today, I just disrupted it.
It would have been
That is a thing. Bedtime. We don't be playing with bedtime, y'all. My body just like, it's time to go to bed. Go to bed. So I want y'all just in the chat say, hey, Reverend Kendra, welcome, 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 welcome. Hey, Sister Max, how are you? So we are live, Reverend Kendra, on Facebook and on YouTube, kind of growing it. And we're actually in transition, because I'm actually transitioning from this Facebook page to a private Facebook page. And doing some things a little bit different. So I'm all excited going through to the end of the month. We're going to hang in and give the tribe enough time to get acclimated and get the word out there. And then we're going to flip our platform. But I'm here on tonight. Y'all say, hey, look, let me put my glasses on so I can see. I just love it. They saying, hey, Reverend Kendra. Yay. Hey, Dana. So, or you muted yourself, Rev.
I had to go to comments. Now I can see. Hey, y'all, what's going on? I was in private chat.
Yay! So, all right. So, they all dirty too. Dang. I gotta get something to clean my glasses with y'all. I ain't playing. I don't like to fake it. We don't fake it in the.
I know that's right.
I need to be able to see what I'm doing. Welcome, Reverend Kendra Smith.
So good to be here.
Mondays in the meditation room with Dr. K. This is fun opportunity for us. And I absolutely love it because it's so free.
I feel it already.
It's not church.
Yeah, I feel it. The only reason I got this black and white on, y'all, because I had quarterly conference. If it wasn't for that, I would be more relaxed. But I just came out of a meeting, so I just said, let me just flow as I is.
So for those of you in the room who have been with us for the last couple of Mondays, and really, I think when I look back, at least for 3 months, we've been on this journey to midlife wholeness, talking about different things that bring us wholeness, and everything from our minds, right, to whose script are we living by. It might not even be ours. What stories are we telling ourselves? Do we need to change our stories? What we're telling ourselves, and we even during Easter we talked about the resurrection of me. I love that one.
Wow.
What's burying you mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and it's time to awaken to ourselves. So that was absolutely the one of my favorites. I think they're all my favorites now. Was our journey to midlife wholeness, dealing with integrity. And we weren't talking about morals and all of that. We were talking about fidelity to yourself. Are you loyal to yourself? Have you betrayed yourself? Woo! Come on, if y'all remember being in the meditation room on some of those nights, come on, talk about it, right? And which pain are we willing to accept? Because every decision, you're going to lose something. Something's going to cause you to pain. So we talked about which pain are you going to choose? Are you going to choose the pain that you stay where you are when you know you're supposed to move? Or are you going to choose the pain of being uncomfortable because any shift in your life is going to cause discomfort? You got to just choose your pain. Which one? Man, that messed me up. I was like, wow. Journey to Midlife Wholeness. And we talked about the grace and power of authenticity. This whole idea of being willing to have the courage to show up as you are and not have to pretend. Because in midlife, yeah, your brain does some rewiring and it don't even allow you to pretend no more. Before you know it, you have said what is exactly on your mind and you meant it, none of it. So we're going to continue the conversation on tonight about midlife wholeness. And last week we talked about emotional intelligence and what are we doing with our emotions? Are we being led by them? What are we being triggered by? What's driving us? Do we know? Right? And do we know how to show up and read a room and handle it and respond accordingly? Right? Are we letting our emotions run wild with us? They are to what? For years we've been talking about that. They are to locate us, not to lead us, to allow us to reflect on where we are, sit with it if we need to, and then begin to shift, right? Make that choice of where we need to go with those emotions. So tonight, that was a whole big, and I left out so much because, dang, I want to say that one was my favorite too, the one about inner peace. Woo! Developing that sacred inner altar and not allowing anybody to put just anything on your altar. That one was good. We talked about Howard Thurman with that one, Red. So we're just going to take a few moments. So I'm going to start off. We're talking about the midlife pivot. I wish I could see y'all because I just want to see your faces. That's why we're shifting our platform, because I want to start seeing faces. I want us to start seeing each other and being able to really talk and reach out to each other. Because when you're talking about a pivot and changing and shifting, that's really what midlife is. It's causing you to look at your life and make some decisions about what you want the rest of your life to look like and what you're willing to do to get what you see and get what you want, and stop feeling ashamed or embarrassed about desire and want. That's something that religion has jacked us up, making us think that we're not supposed to have desires or wants, or we put, as women, in particular Black women, putting everybody else ahead of us or in front of us. And what everybody else wants is more important than what we want and what we desire. Feeling guilty. Man, is anybody else going to kick guilt and shame to the side in your life? Just no more. It's not serving me. Feeling guilty and ashamed don't do nothing for me. And in midlife, you begin to shift your thinking that you're not willing to do anything that's not serving you or benefiting you anymore. Hey, Carla. Let me put my glasses on. Now they clean. I can see. She said, hey, Reverend Kendra. Woohoo. Absolutely love it. Hey, Sister Carolyn. I love it. All right. So, Rev, I want you first jump on and say hi to everybody again. Anything you want to share and say, but I want you to then talk about the realization or the revelation that you are now a part of the Midlife Club. You're an enlightened woman, right? What comes to your mind when you think about that realization or revelation?
Yeah. Wow. Well, first of all, hey, everybody. So glad and excited to be here. This is amazing. My mother in ministry is amazing. So and y'all are amazing. So I just am, so, as soon as she asked, I was like, yes, yes, yes. Okay, we're going to be there. So it's just so grateful to be among all of you all, just phenomenal and great women. What is it? So Pastor, what did you say? What does it feel like? What is it?
Yeah. What, when you're thinking about it, how does it hit your
Yeah.
mind, your heart, your
Yeah.
spirit?
Yeah. Yeah. I think when you first asked the question, one is freedom.
Mm,
It is an evolving, and so it is the freedom to be.
mm,
And so, and not that I wasn't already being, but it's something that over the last, so I'm 53. I'll be 54 in November. For me, it didn't happen like right away. You know what I mean? I didn't, and I know it happens differently for different women. But for me, it's the freedom. And it is the realization that I don't get a second run.
Woo!
So this is it. So what are you waiting for? You know what I mean? This is it. And so you either gonna do it now,
Come on.
do it. And so it is just, and it was a little sobering because it's the realization that at some point I will not be here. When I was younger, you just don't think about stuff like that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You just don't think about it. But one day my name will be called. And my prayer is that up until that time, I have lived to the fullest extent possible.
Mm-hmm.
And I, for years, oh my goodness, and I'm sure many of us have the fear, the rejection, the I am not enoughness, all of that, even with being educated, even with operating in ministry, the negative self-talk and all of those things. But now, and I'm not even saying that some of those things aren't still there. Like, I'm not saying that sometimes negative self-talk doesn't try to come back, but now I'm like, yeah, okay. It's a shifting, and it is a sense of responsibility that I have, that I realize now everything I need, I have.
Yes.
So
I wrote it down as a post.
yeah. Everything I need, I have. And so the only thing that's in my way is me. And so for what reason would I not move forward? For what reason would I not pursue? For what reason would I not share my voice? And then as a woman of faith, it really doesn't glorify God. And that was the other piece that really was a tension point for me. It doesn't glorify God. If I'm here to please him, God gets no glory if I'm not living into the fullness of who he's created me to be.
Yes.
It's in it. And so then it got to be a thing with God and I. Like what you gonna do? Because this is it. You wait for it. It is. And so it is just this kind of freedom. It is this recognition that I'm not who I used to be, right? And that's one of my favorite scripts. I'm not who I used to be, but I still believe that there's still more for me. So I'm not ready to just, say, oh, okay. And I am content. I am probably the most content I have ever been, ever.
Wow, I love it.
I mean, I am content. I'm telling you, I'm like, yes, content. And in that contentment, I'm still though able to acknowledge. So when you talked about the desires and the dreams, I'm still able to acknowledge what I still feel within. So God has blessed me. I transitioned from pastoring. It'll be 3 years. It was 3 years in April. So right at the time I turned 50. And some of you all may not know my story, but I pastored. I launched a church. Of course, came out of Pastor Hayes and Reverend Kelly's ministry. Launched a church, which was major. I mean, I was shaking in my boots. I was like, oh Lord, no. I finally did it, and I thought I was going to do that forever.
Yeah.
I thought that was it. I was going to be Pastor Kendra Smith. I was going to launch a church. It was going to grow to thousands, and we were going not. But even though it didn't happen the way that I thought it would happen, I have no regrets. Like, I would do that again. I'm very clear that was a part of my journey. But right around the time I was turning 50, probably a year, like a year before, I was praying about just what I was sensing in here and couldn't really put words to it. And finally, it was Pastor Kelly. I came to her and I said, hey, do you think I can still express my love for God outside of pastoring? So I was feeling something, but I couldn't quite put my hand on what it was. Long story short, I went ahead and transitioned out of, pastoring. Rivers of Life is doing well. They have a great pastor, ministries flourishing. I had no idea what was going to happen to me. I didn't have a plan. I said, oh, I'll go sit in someone's church. And, I was, making a shift, making a pivot. And I ended up talking to Pastor Watley. He's one of the people I talked to when I launched. So I worked my way back. I went and talked to him, and then in conversation, he offers me a job. But not just a job, like a full-time ministry job. Like, I had been working bivocational when I was pastoring, right? And my dream was always that I would return back. I had no idea how I was going to ever get back to full-time. I had not a clue. Offer me a full-time ministry position. Transition in that position, and can I tell you, God, and this might just be something I have to see God face to face in glory. I don't understand it, but literally what I'm doing right now is what I dreamed of doing with the church that I planted. I cannot explain. It is just in the same neighborhood where we are. It's the same neighborhood that Rivers of Life was planted. So God is still using that gifting and that ability and still giving me that capacity. Hey, Carter.
Hey, Carter.
Hey, girl. So, and so I had to make that ministry pivot. And all of that was happening, at this kind of, as you said, midlife kind of place. And then once I did that and God is blessing, I realized that there was still a part of me that still wasn't, using all the gift that God had given. So the teaching gift, the encouraging gift, wasn't fully being utilized as much. And I still had it. And I said, well, what you gonna do about that? And long story short, I prayed, talked to Pastor Watt, and this is where this other pivot is coming in now for these spiritual empowerment sessions. I don't even fully know where this is gonna go. I just know I need to start. And I need to be obedient to the Spirit of God and what I was hearing within. And so it is just, yeah.
I love it. So let's talk about that, because what happens for us in midlife, initially, can I tell you, they talk about midlife. It's when they first start talking about it, like 50. It's always like, when you hit 50, your midlife, da da da. And I think a lot of persons really focused on that. And certainly I know when I hit 50, it was a shift, but it didn't start there.
Right.
And technically it starts prior to that.
Wow.
At 40, 45. And it's scary that I even hear some women talk about 35, but I'm not going that far back. But can I tell you, literally the new statistics and the new studies are actually that there's a group of women hitting 35 to 40 and 40, 45 that they're struggling with this place of discontentment, right? Struggling with being okay with who they are. Right. And the difference, I think, is that women may have always hit it around that time, but we didn't give voice to it. That this generation of women in that age group is giving voice to feeling challenged with fitting in the boxes that they're trying to put us in, especially for us as Black women. So when we're talking about getting to this particular season in our lives, the shift happens whether you embrace it or not, right? It's going to happen physiologically, right? Your body is going to start registering it because your hormones are doing all kind of things. Your mind is doing, because your mind is saying it's time to prioritize you. And if we aren't willing to prioritize, hey, Danny, money, she said, yes, I'm in that group, right? It is prioritizing yourself. Get this, y'all, even with children, and or significant other, because we have been trained that we put all of our energies into making sure they were okay, and then we put ourselves in the on the back burner. Everybody might not agree with this. Hey, I'm okay. My skin is a lot thicker than it used to be. You don't have to agree. But I'm here to say you don't have to sacrifice yourself on the altar of children, parents, boo, bae, husband. You get to start and at the same time learn how to find your place of significance and fulfillment while that is happening. Because then when we don't, what happens is when we get to this stage and then people are grown or they're going about their life, or you're just only in the place where you're reflecting over your life. And what happens? We divorce people, we quit jobs, we leave, we move to other states. We do drastic things because we've suppressed ourselves and our well-being and being for so long. Man, I'm here to tell you, we on a journey together so that we don't have to wait so long to start feeling and living our life in contentment. I love how Reverend Kendra says, I'm the most content I've ever been, right? And we talk about being enough. You already are, and you already have what you need to be who you are, right? How that takes a shift. So let me back up to say, right, what does it mean for a midlife pivot? I put this, I see if I can find this little picture. I'm so used to Keisha being around, like helping me. Right? Y'all see that? Y'all see, I was trying to find a woman walking, but I couldn't find a woman. I can only find this man walking. But do y'all see that picture?
Yes. Looks good. Yes. That's awesome.
That's what that is, right? So, and I couldn't find the definition I wanted. And here's the other thing in midlife. I am an expert, right? I get to use my voice. So my definition, right, of pivot is a shift in a direction or trajectory to a new direction for greater fulfillment and joy. There it is. Pivot. Right? Did y'all get that? Pivot, a shift in direction or trajectory to a new direction or trajectory for greater fulfillment and joy. And it's like you going on the road and you get to a crossroad. That's what I love about all the pictures that I saw. You get to a crossroad and then you have to make a decision on which direction you're going to go. And we've been told all our lives which direction we should go. We, right, in midlife begin to develop a sense of confidence if you, right, expose yourself to the right things to help you make a choice to go in a different direction. And that's really what midlife is about, reflecting on your life and making some choices for what you want the rest of your life to look like. That's as you can't get any more simpler than that, right? That's what it is. And so what are you shifting? It's two things: your mindset and your environment. Because this statistic says 95% of human beings' lives reflect on the 5 people they spend the most time with. Woo! Mute yourself, Rev. What you have to say about that? Do y'all? Wow. 95% of human beings' lives reflect the 5 people that they spend the most time with.
Yeah, I mean, but I first of all, this is amazing. I'm like, oh my goodness, absolutely, because the reality of it is that we become impacted and we can be influenced by other people's thoughts and other people's behaviors. And we may not realize it. And I think that's why when we're pivoting, we begin to reflect on our relationships. And I know for me, at this point in my life, if somebody is not, pouring into me, if I'm not having, if we don't have some sort of impact on each other, if I'm not around, I'm like, hey, love you, but this, we can't continue in this, this friendship, this relation. And I'm not even just talking about men, you know what I mean? I'm talking about, women, even sometimes family. God praise the Lord, God bless them all. But absolutely, because, it's the energy, you know what I mean? It's the spirit. It's, when you and that's really, Pastor, what helped me to make this pivot. Because it was the people that I chose to be around, that I chose to listen to, that I chose to sit under, that I chose to connect. I got a life coach this past year. You know what I mean? I connected with other women who have businesses who are now helping me to do things that I want to do, but I don't know how to do. So you know how to do social media? Okay, well, look, we're gonna get together. You're gonna help me. I'm gonna pay you, and we're gonna do this thing together. And so, no, absolutely, it definitely is about your behavior, your environment, and your thoughts. It's your thoughts. It's your thoughts. It's your thoughts. Jesus, it's your thoughts, and all of that impacts how we think. And for me, there's been so much that we've been thinking. I don't even know if we've realized we've been thinking it. I mean, it is such in the subconscious that I don't think we realize how it's impacting our choices and our decisions. I almost did not put that post up on Facebook. And I was struggling with that. I'm like, oh, you know how we do. And but I had made a commitment to myself. I had made a commitment to myself. I said it was supposed to go up on Thursday. It didn't go up. I said, okay, we're going to do this on Friday. Because I had already, plus I had some other things in the way. I had some women who are working with me. I'm talking to them. I'm like, come on, Kendra, now. Come on now. And right before that morning, one of my good friends called me. Good girlfriend. She had no idea. It was her call. I said, thank you. I said, she said, if you don't push send. And that is probably the most public I've ever been about anything. But what I realized, again, because I was cultivating my thoughts in my mind, you know what I mean? And this didn't just happen, overnight. It took some time for me to begin to consider my thoughts so that I could shift my behavior. And so I started doing things like, old school, we used to do gratitude journals every day. I started just being very specific. I had 5 gratitude statements I was giving every day. And I wrote out my intentions right at the pandemic. I wrote out what my intentions were, my goals were. I looked at them almost every day to remind myself. It got to a place, Pastor, where I started to say at the beginning of the day what I wanted my outcome to be at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
I may not have always got there, but the fact that I made I had to give a pattern, because you can get stuck in a lot of excuses about why things are not happening. But really, it wasn't because we don't have potential. It wasn't because we didn't have gifts and talents. It was my habits. It was my thoughts. It was the things really, and I'm still working on them. But the point is, yes, very, very impactful. Very, very impactful. Yeah.
So we're talking about that. Hey, Dana, thank you. She typing it up for me in the chat. Y'all have to. So when we're talking about pivot, did y'all get it? I'm gonna say it one more time. A pivot in midlife really is, because that's all midlife is a crossroads, right? So we're talking about, we come to a crossroads and we have to decide, am I going to continue to live the way I'm living, or I'm going to do something different? Do I want something different for my life? Am I going to be different? Who am I going to be? And here's the thing, y'all. It's so powerful that when we talked about our thoughts, we've been talking about ever since we've been in the meditation room. At some point or another, we're talking about our thoughts, right? Who you are, you don't really have to find yourself.
That's right.
To remember who you are.
That's right.
You don't have to go looking for who you are. You have to remember who you are. And that's what this time in the meditation room, or anything else that you want to do, I'm going to have Reverend Kendra talk about what she's getting ready to do. Shift your thoughts, your mindset, your self-talk, what you are thinking,
Right.
because that your consciousness, you cannot rise above your level of consciousness.
Okay.
So whatever you are thinking and however you're thinking determines your being.
Wow.
And most of us, our pastors taught we think like 80,000 thoughts a day.
Mm.
And then it might have been more than that. And because then he said the majority of those thoughts are negative in nature, and
Wow.
we thought them before. So they're negative and repetitive. And
Wow.
so you have to literally do a reboot of your mind
Mhm.
so that you can start paying attention to your thoughts. Get this, y'all. You are not your mind,
That's right.
and you are not your thoughts. Because if you were your mind and your thoughts, you wouldn't be able to see what you're thinking.
Wow.
Pay attention to your thinking. Y'all, because you say you have a thought, but you get to police that thought.
That's
So
right.
that's telling you you are not your thoughts.
That's right. That's good, Pastor. That's good. That's good.
You are not your mind. You are not your thoughts. You are the spirit that God has breathed life into. So your spirit is separate from your thoughts.
That's right.
But your thoughts can impact you. So you have to learn how to curate. That's one of my new favorite words, Red.
I love
You
it. I love
have to
it.
curate your thoughts.
That's good. That's good.
You know what curate means? It means to create a specific environment.
Wow.
Ooh.
Wow.
You'll hear it again when we talk about the serenity experience. It is a uniquely curated experience for women in midlife. That's what you have to start shifting your mindset.
Yeah.
And I say thoughts, but I also like to say mindset,
Mine.
because you can get set in your ways by the thoughts, the repetitive negative thoughts that you have.
That's right.
So if you are ready to pivot, what did we say? A shift. Man, and Pastor Hayes preached on Sunday, shift and elevate.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
And he was like, you shift. And he said, you just shift and then raise. Because you can shift and still be on the same level of consciousness.
That's right. That's right.
You have to shift and then elevate your thinking. A
Wow.
lot of us think too
Wow.
low about our own selves.
That's right.
Right?
Wow.
So if we're going to pivot, y'all, if we're going to get to that crossroad and choose the road that is best for you, not what everybody else is saying.
That's right.
Right? And you have to learn how to trust your own voice.
Wow.
Right? So we have to, when we get to that place of crossroads and we're going to pivot and not follow the same road, and we're going to pivot, what's the first thing we're going to do, y'all? Is shift our mindset.
Yeah. Yeah.
Start listening to something that somebody else knew. Can I tell you, Reverend Kendra, one of the things that I realized in midlife is that my life was too small.
That's right. Wow. Wow.
So that's why number 2 is shift your environment. I ain't say you had to pack up and move unless you hear the Spirit say relocate to another city, because sometimes the Spirit does say that, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes we could just need to move on the other side of town, because we find that our lives get so small, it gets in a groove, and we're doing the same thing over and over again.
That's good.
So you need to shift your environment. Go try something new. Go do something that you have not done before. Go to a restaurant that you've never been to before. Try a different type of food. Listen to some different music. Go to a concert. And I know we've been on pandemic, so I'm not talking pandemic talk, because this is going to end.
Yeah.
And even in the pandemic, you can do something new, right? Listen to a podcast, get a book. And you can get so much stuff delivered to you, right? If you don't want to go out.
That's right.
Right? Shift your environment. Find some new people. Find some new something. Do something new to shake yourself up, right?
Yeah.
So then explore. Cause just try something. Cause you try something don't mean you got to be committed or wedded to it. Try it.
That's right.
Explore,
Oops.
expand,
Hmm.
evolve.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we pivot.
That's
So
good.
we start with our mindset and our environment.
Wow.
And then do what, y'all? Explore, expand, and evolve. Go exploring. You might find some stuff you like you didn't know you was gonna like.
Mm-hmm.
Expand your circle,
Mm-hmm.
your horizon, and certainly expand your mind beyond what you think you can do.
Yeah.
Right. So and then give yourself permission to evolve. Remember, that's what we talked about last time. Give yourself permission to experience joy
Mm-hmm.
and something new. Right.
Amazing. Wow.
I love it. Thank you, Dana Dane. Dana got it all in the comments. I absolutely love you. So we're talking about midlife pivot. This is your experience, your homework for this week, right? Is to take one of those three things
Wow.
and do something with it.
Mm.
Either explore or say, how can I expand my horizons? Where can I meet somebody new? Where can I go and meet somebody new? What can I do to expand my mind, my
That's good.
heart, my spirit, right? What can I do?
That's good.
And, and what can I do to evolve, to change, to grow, to mature, to do something different?
Yeah.
Woo! That's
That's
so good, y'all.
awesome. Awesome.
Woo! I love it.
That's awesome.
So, as we get ready to close on tonight, y'all know we're just going to take a few minutes to sit with that and focus on that. But before I do, I want to, in a minute, I want to ask Reverend Kendra to tell you all about what her new adventure is in life, what she's getting ready to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So be mindful now. Remember that I gave you guys the date, the possible date of September 24th and 25th for our Serenity experience. We have to adjust it to the weekend prior to that, but you're going to get more information soon as we are talking about our venue, whether we're going to do a hybrid, a virtual, in person, or virtual. So, I'm hearing the spirit on what we're going to do. We're going to do something. It's just we got to figure out how we're going to do it, because we're not playing. We know they opening everything up, but we like, I'm still wearing my mask. I don't know what y'all doing, but
That's right. That's right.
so but we are absolutely doing it. I'm so excited. Getting ready, Dana Dane. We're getting ready to do our classes for the Enlightened Woman book. We're getting ready to go
Oh,
through. I'm
nice.
so excited about that. Yes.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Excited about that. So we're moving forward with that. So keep your eye, invite sisters to join. So right now we're on the Enlightened Woman. It's a public Facebook page, but we are transitioning to our private Facebook page. That is Enlightened Woman. No the in front of it, but Enlightened Woman. Make sure you invite sisters to join, become a part of the project. Our platform is shifting to that so that we can do some teaching and we can do some other things on there, and then getting to platform where we can do some face-to-face conversations and group. I'm looking forward to that too.
Yeah.
It's just so much in my head right now. I'm so excited about what God is doing. I don't know what to do. So we are launching Serenity Meditation and Breath Work. So I'm excited. I'll be finished with my certification in June. Woo-hoo! So we are just loving God and loving it. And we just thank y'all. So we get ready to close. Reverend Kendra, won't you share with the Enlightened Woman Tribe what you are getting ready to do?
Amen. Amen. This is again the only word I can say tonight. This has been amazing. I mean, this pastor that's another conversation for another day. But what am I getting ready to do? One of the things, because this is one of the things that I'm getting ready to do, is I'm going to be releasing KSM. So that is Kendra Smith Ministries. That will be a nonprofit organization. In the midst of doing that, one of my desires has been, and my heart has been, spiritual formation. It is being able to help people, but now specifically it's going to be women that are between age like 40 to 60 that are living in the second half of life, because that's where I am, right? And so, and it's going to be spiritual empowerment sessions. We're still, to use your word, Pastor, curating, we're still discovering what that is, because I don't want to assume that I know it all. I don't know. My experience may not be your experience. We are not monolithic. And so I'm starting to kick off by doing these discovery sessions with women to hear from them about where they are, what they want to see, and all those types of things. And then that will help me to build out the components of the sessions. But I'm super, super excited, because one of my testimonies is that my evolving has happened with in such intimacy with God, and helping women discover that, because oftentimes we are looking at all the other blocks, right? The family, the husband, the job, and the relationship that enables us to elevate. We don't always lean into the extent that we can. And so I love, oh my God, I love the Word of God. I love the Bible. And so that's one way that I changed my thoughts. That's one way that I began to remember, as Pastor said today, who I am, because it was as it was defined in God's Word who I am. And that helped me to change my mindset. And so these spiritual empowerment sessions will begin to help us focus there. But we're looking at, where we go from there. So that could be relationships, professional, vocation, calling. I'm still, I don't know. This is what I have. And as I share with Pastor Kelly, I'm going to start with what I have, right? Sometimes we, because we want everything kind of in a neat box.
Yes.
Everything kind of, no, this has been in me, and it's been in me for a while. It's been in me for years, and I had not moved on it. And so now I'm like, we're just going to give it to the Lord. We're going to go, we're going to put our hard work in. We're going to do it. And so, Pastor, I love you. Thank you a lot. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. I get to preach on Sunday. You all know this, but I just have to testify that this woman right here, it is by God's hand that we're connected. And Pastor, if it was not for you and Pastor Hayes, God using you all like you did in my life, we wouldn't have been able to even evolve here. So I just want to say thank you. I really do. So excited to be here tonight. You guys are awesome. This is amazing. I'm waiting for the TV show. I'm waiting for it all. I'm like, yes, that's right. The podcast, you all of it. All of it. So yeah, and I'm having fun.
Yeah.
So this is not burdensome. This is not, I got to. No, we're gonna have a good old time. We're gonna enjoy and have fun. And so thank you, Pastor Kelly, so much. Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. Before you go, I'm going to say something. Then I'm gonna bring you back with you, because Dana's right. Before you go, I want you to shout out your social media information and contacts so everybody can, because I see at Reverend Kendra. So if there's anything different right before we go out, I want you to make sure you shout out that. Y'all, now this is the part that I'm most excited about. New. Starting next Monday, which is my actual birthday, I am turning 59. So I'm getting ready to do a year-long journey on my IGTV channel on my journey to 60, the making of an enlightened woman. So from now until I turn 60, I am doing a journey on IGTV. It's just going to be fun. I'm just going to be doing a whole lot of stuff publicly, trying a whole lot of stuff as we do in midlife. Right. I'm just going to be trying foods, and I'm going to be trying stuff that keep us from having hot flashes. I'm going to be talking about the journey from now to 60. And I'm so excited about that. So it's going to be Gonna be fun. I'm stepping way outside of my comfort zone, and I'm so excited about that. Gonna upgrade me to an iPhone 12 so I can have the video capability and do all that stuff and just be out there. And I hope y'all come along with me on this journey, this 60, the making of an enlightened woman. And we just gonna really talk about and experience what it's like to be in this midlife place and pivoting to a life that brings us joy, and what Reverend Kendra said, contentment and fulfillment, and being okay with prioritizing your joy. Woo! Absolutely love it. So thank y'all for joining us on tonight. Y'all know, Rev, shout out your any connection points.
Now, I got to get better with this. I was like, what is the connection point? I got to get better. I think it's at Reverend Kendra. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I am on Twitter, but Facebook and Instagram more so. And so it's, I believe it is at Reverend Kendra. I need to figure that out. But thank you all. You can find me there. Yay.
Awesome. Let's thank Reverend Kendra. Y'all know it's time. Y'all know we're usually off, but by now. But when I have a special guest, I get all excited, and we just just keep on talking. So thank y'all for hanging with me all the way to this point. But y'all know what we do as we prepare for our ritual for tonight. Let's take a few moments. Get where you are. Get right in your body. If you are sitting, sit up straight, put your feet flat on the floor. Even if you want to, just lay down if you're anywhere near where you can lay down on your bed. But this is the moment where we learn how to stop, get quiet, tap in, and learn how to mind our inner mind. Just put your hand on your heart, one on your belly, and take a moment and take a deep breath in and release it. Just think about the fact that you take your breath in, that is the breath of God, and you are receiving everything you need from God. And when you exhale, you are releasing any and everything that does not serve you well. Come on, let's take a deep breath in and release it. As you take our final deep breath in, say, I am worthy. I am worthy. I am worthy of all the good that is coming to me. Take a deep breath in and release it with a sound. Woo! And just love on yourself on tonight. Have sweet sleep and rest, everybody. Love y'all. See y'all on next week. Maybe tomorrow and the next day. And the next day as I count towards my birthday. I'm so excited. Love y'all. Thank y'all for joining. Don't forget, y'all, you are an enlightened woman, and you are not having a midlife crisis. You are in midlife recreation and rebirth. Embrace it, embrace it, embrace it. Love y'all. Good night.
Good night.